Hi, everyone. We're going to give everybody just a few seconds to log into our webinar today, so hang tight and we will get started shortly. All right, welcome everyone to the Moxa ITS webinar series. We have our third webinar today on remote asset management. So we appreciate everybody taking the time to join us today. I'm Bonnie Russell and I'm going to be the moderator for today's session. So let's take a look at our first slide here to start with, some of the common challenges that we see facing customers. And we shared this in our previous webinars. And really the goal for our ITS webinar series is to help address some of these challenges. For example, status and performance. Are there concerns about remote traffic assets? Or what about visibility and advance notice? Does your current remote site's network and equipment support it? And there could be challenges around interconnectivity or interoperability. What network equipment and technologies are on your network, and can they handle the latest ATC or ATMS applications? And the fourth one is a big one and becoming more important around network security. Does your current network equipment and software support it? Our expert today will be, again, addressing these challenges and really talking about what's happening in the market. For the webinar today, we have about 25 minutes of content followed by a Q&A session. I want to let everyone know that you can submit questions anytime during our session using the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. So now what I'd like to do is go ahead and introduce our presenters. So joining us, we have Michael Cochran, our ITS business manager. And Michael brings several years of experience as a sales engineer here at Moxa and also a background in wireless broadband. And joining Michael, we have Roger Yu, our business development manager, part of our industrial network infrastructure group. And Roger also brings a wealth of knowledge around industrial automation, data communications, computing, and ITS applications. So excited to have both of them joining us today. So we'll go ahead and get started. Michael, I'm going to hand it to you.
Oh, thanks, Bonnie, and welcome everyone. Glad you could make it for the third webinar in our series of 3. And today we're going to be talking about remote traffic asset network security and management. And the agenda will look like this. We'll be talking about implementing performance monitoring, enhancing interconnect performance, securing traffic asset network, and then of course making the management of that as efficient as you can when you are managing those remote assets. So just as a reminder, when it comes to ITS, we have over 20 years of experience in the ITS vertical market. We've had a lot of expertise in here. We offer a wide range of solutions, and we've done a lot of different applications, that basically involve connectivity and real-time data acquisition and transmission. And this would include ATMS, E-bus, tunnels, electronic toll collection, you name it. So we've done an awful lot in this space. And one of the reasons for that, go ahead, next slide, please, is because of our broad product portfolio that fits well into this space. So we've 2 different categories I would put this into would be network infrastructure as well as device networking. And on the network infrastructure side, we've got our industrial Ethernet switches, both switches that would go out in the field or out on the edge, and then also back at the core, back at the TMC, and we've got them in layer 2 and layer 3. And then in addition to that, if you're wanting to go up to layer 3 and implement some of those best practices or those layer 3 applications, we've got the secure routing for any firewalling, VPNing, NATing, or routing that you want to do, okay? And then we are able to also leverage existing connectivity and technology that's in the ground using VDSL2 technology, an old 2-wire twisted pair left over from all the telcos that were there. And then we manage that with a software suite called MXStudio, and we'll be talking a little bit about that. Now, when it comes to the serial connectivity and some of those other devices out there that don't have a regular IP connection on them or an RJ45, we've got our serial server products that are highly secure endports. All those 170 controllers out there still have a serial connection on them, and now they need to get onto an IP network. Well, we can help you do that. If you have any I/O devices out there that need to get onto an IP network, we've got the Ethernet I/O products. And then on top of that, we've got a whole family of industrial media converters, whether you need to convert serial to serial, serial to Ethernet, Ethernet to fiber, serial to fiber. We've got that whole gambit as well. And that's why this really just fits very well into the whole ITS market. So 4 major aspects, or I'll say high-level value props that Moxa really brings here is, first of all, our industrial reliability. We design our equipment for long life, redundant communications in very, very harsh environments. We are able to also connect legacy devices, bridge that gap between today's equipment and today's needs, and bridge the yesterday equipment, right? So you got old devices and equipment out there that probably was never designed to be on an IP network. We help bridge that gap, get that onto the network so you can now manage it better. And then, of course, our customer base has never been the IT certified guy, right? It's the OT guy. So we put a big focus on ease of use. We make very nice software GUI interfaces so that our products are very, very easy to work with. And then, of course, if you're going to be in this business, you have to be able to provide strong cybersecurity. And we wrap all of that into a cybersecurity protection and build our products around a standard that we like called IEC 62443. But before we begin, I'm really excited to tell you about a case study that we just completed. I'm very proud of it. So it's about the city of Lancaster. They wanted to, a couple of years back, they decided to become a smart city, and really it was powered by strategic technology and centered around how they see the future with smart cities. And a huge part of that was upgrading their communication infrastructure and putting in a whole fiber network. And they've got 146 traffic cabinets across the city that all have Moxa switches in them. And it's an all Moxa network. So from those traffic cabinets, you've got the field switch, and it connects back into a core switch. And back at the TMC, this can all be managed with the Moxa software. And we're a really big part of this solution that helps them feel more future ready. They can grow future forward. They've got very, very robust bandwidth on this. And even the mayor comes in and gives us a quote. This case study is the feature on our website this week. So by all means, please go to our main page, moxa.com, and check this case study out. It's pretty awesome. Okay, so remote transportation asset management. Roger, what exactly does that mean?
Thank you, Michael. This is a good question. We've been helping a lot of agencies across the country look into the ITS network upgrade. But majorly, before we provide any solution, we're asking customers what is the goal and challenges they want to achieve. The common answer is asset management. They putting a lot of new investment, new equipment outside, new controller, new detection system, something like this. So all these assets, they really want to understand whether they perform outside. What's the condition outside? Is there any issue? And how to looking into those equipment, are they perform or not? So we definitely feedback to them. So you must have a right network outside with the right equipment and software, and utilize them in trying to perform remote management. So this is not like coming from Mark's perspective. It's the message coming from FHWA, Federal Highway Administration website, and focus talking about, hey, when you're having this, the assets management is much more focused on the assets performance. So let's take a look on this scenario, a traffic light failure outside. So once the incident happening, what it doing the next, then the TMC or the operator may have a control software to showing the blinking red dot, just like on the a screen right now, and showing, hey, what location having incident happening. But this software just showing you what incident happening. So what is the next? What can we identify? What is the issue? Is it the traffic light issue? Is it a controller issue? Is it a detection system issue or something like this? So what is the next action item? So probably the next action item is this way, sending out a telemetry going out to open the cabinet and follow the the guideline, checking the controller, checking each code, and under the slowing day in the midnight. So is it anything we can look into to avoid this kind of situation, sending a technician under the slowing day? Or is there anything we can look into our networking equipment or software to helping us to improve remote management? Are those equipment and software can helping us to checking, is it a network setting issue outside or topology layout issue outside, or allow us utilize the network, trying to remote access the traffic assets and trying to diagnostic and see what's happening, or trying to a remote sending the code to make it back to the situation. Are those equipment as well as the software can allow to sending you the event log to let you visible what's going on in each traffic asset. So speaking about this, there's a lot of tools in the market you can look into, whether coming from the switches manufacturer or whether there's some software tool in the market called network management software. So there's two different version in the market. One is called commercial on the right-hand side. The other one is called industrial one. That's what Moxa offering. So what is the difference between these two? I'll take a very quick comparison to talk about. The right-hand side, the commercial one, is a very a high level, kind of a scattered software overview by the IT department, trying to looking into high level logical link. When we say high level logical link, same thing, just like the previous slide, usually the traffic control software, just showing you what is the location having the incident. Cannot go deep to seeing what's the incident happening from the assets, or going to the physical layer to seeing is it a port of the network equipment has an issue, or the traffic assets have the issue. That's the big difference comparing the commercial one to the industrial one. So what is the benefit looking into utilize the software tool? So definitely this is a very quick to looking in on the left-hand side, talking about the software suite can helping you saving time and effort, increase your visibility, and trying to get you all the advanced notice, and helping you doing more efficient maintenance or remote diagnostic. So that is all the software tool can benefit to you. So let's take a look on what Moxa offering the software to over here. We call MXStudio. So it comes with 3 different components inside. So the first one called MXconfig. It's a network installation tool. It's helping you doing all the configurations, setup for your network equipment and your assets to get communication. The second one called MXView. So that is the one increase your visibility about what is your inventory outside, what is the condition of the network outside, what is your traffic access condition outside. And the last one is called NMS. So that is a network troubleshooting tool. Something instant happening 2 days ago, you may want to utilize this software tool in trying to help you to retrieve the historic data. So let me go deep a little bit about the MXconfig. I mentioned it's an installation tool. So when you're having your upgrade project or application looking to, I want to having more a good advanced network equipment for your intersection, for example, 20 or 30 in different location or something like this, you're talking about 20 to 30 switches. So if you're trying to do the configuration the same, so what software tool can helping you to do the mass deployment? When we say mass deployment, we're talking about you're just doing one click to deploy your configuration. So the other one is once you're having all this network built up and some patch upgrade, some firmware upgrade in the future, are you sending people out to doing one by one, or trying to utilize this software, trying to do the firmware upgrade by remote? So we're talking about this not only about saving your time or reduce your cost, maintenance cost. The major thing is very good to helping prevent any human error, because when we're doing configuration, definitely one switch, I spend 2 hours trying to configure it. After one switch, the second switch, I restart it again. I may start to kind of DC, may having some issue about some mistype or typo issue. But anyway, I just mentioned earlier, this is the software to offering by Moxa is free to the market. You can utilize it and try to configure the switches with the same configuration. After you connect all the switches together, just one click and deploy all the configuration. So the next software tool called MXView. That is the one helping all the agency increase your visibility about your remote network, your remote traffic access condition, something like this. Definitely, I mentioned earlier about you can using a commercial product, the NMS from commercial, kind of like a scatter, but those only showing you what is the location, cannot go down in deep to showing you what is the condition. So we'll go over, go deep a little bit about what is the good thing about the MXView. So MXView, just looking at the slide in front of us, from the left-hand side, it's not only showing you the network topology outside, what is your inventory outside, and what is the condition happening, event happening. You can see the event log underneath to showing any timing recording what happening. On the right-hand side, since you're building up the like a big network outside, you're trying to upgrade them, putting all together, but it's a big flat network. You want to segment them, utilize the VLAN. So this software can allow you trying to one click to showing your VLAN condition with all the bandwidth data condition as well. So take a look on this as an example. This is the software not only locate Moxa equipment, but we can locate the third-party equipment. You can see in the screen with the blinking orange line. This is an ICMP device. It's a third party. As long as they provide the SNP, we can locate them. So this is what I mentioned earlier. We can go in the deep in physical layer to detect the traffic access. If that traffic access encounters some issue, getting like a weaker or getting some issue going to be damaged, then they will try to generate some garbage data or confusing not normal behavior to increase the data bandwidth inside the network. You can see orange line on the chart in front of us. It's talking about its abnormal traffic bandwidth getting higher than 60, 80%. So then that's telling us, hey, your traffic access from physical layer having issue. You have to pay attention and try to fix it before it happens like a damage, something like that. So not only about visibility, talking about this software piece can allow you having a quick snapshot with a dashboard to showing you all this data information, the status about the network, as well as the event log. You can run the software trying to run the event log and export the information, the instant, to allow you having the report to like accumulate all this kind of failure from the access. You can share with the management and executive to like review whether that has to be an improvement in the future, whether it has to be changing a new traffic access or something like this. It's pretty decent, not only visibility, but this is a report style helping a lot of agencies trying to go in deep to looking at the traffic access, whether it's a timing trying to improve. The last components, we talk about NSLab. So NSLab is another tool, it's free to the market as well. As I mentioned, if some location having a condition or issue instant happening midnight 2 a.m., something like this, by 2 days ago. So you can utilize this software trying to retrieve the data and see what causing that problem. And is it the problem? You can look at the event log. Is it the traffic access issue? Is it timing trying to replace it? So this is all about from the what Moxa offering the software to helping our customer trying to see how to remote manage the traffic access. But how about the interconnect for the different city corridor? They trying to link all this information from one city to the other city. Hey, Michael, since you've been working, helping a lot of city about the city corridor, how you utilize this software, telling them how to manage it?
Okay, thanks, Roger. So, yeah, I mean, you can tell by here that cities, these networks are growing in complexity and in size. And I think we have all probably seen this where a lot of agencies are trying to interconnect, where a municipality might be trying to interconnect their network with a DOT or maybe with a county. So you've got possibly some older technology and older network, and now maybe you're trying to interconnect with a newer network, but it's increasing in size and increasing in the different types of media. And maybe you want to manage these as different sites. So the question becomes, can you manage multiple sites from one central location? And the answer is yes. That's what's great about MXView is, as you can see here with these different balloons, these are representing different sites. And if you could click on the red balloon because there's a critical infrastructure issue, or the yellow is showing you that there's a little bit less critical. It's more of an alarm and a warning. But when you click on that site, on that balloon, it will bring up that specific site, and you can look at this. And it's a great way to be able to manage multiple sites from one location without needing all these extra licenses. And to make things even better, you might, if you're someone who is out in the field and on the go, and you're not a guy that's always sitting in the TMC trying to centrally manage the network, and you're out in the field a little bit more active, we have something called MXView to go, which is really awesome. You can just load this app onto your cell phone, and essentially MXView to go, it'll detect the network alarm, and it'll send that notification to your mobile phone, and you can check different statuses and alerts, and you can take action and really reduce your system downtime. So you can look up anything that may have happened, and you can also check to see if the problems have been resolved. So this is really great for the guy that's out in the field a lot, but it still needs to manage his network. So, speaking about having to secure these networks and ensure that they're secure, because these are very, very wide area networks, and we develop our products around a security standard called 62443. It's really great if you've got the tools to help you manage that and are developed around that standard. And we do that two different ways. We do that with a tool called MXconfig to help you with your configurations. And then with the management and monitoring of it, we use something called MXView. So when we talk about wanting to configure our switches and lock down those devices out in the traffic cabinets, the great thing about 62443, the standard, is that it has all these already predefined built-in industrial profiles. So you see the list of items, the checklist of items on the list of the features that you should be considering, right? And then depending on the level of security you want to be at, whether that's high, medium, basic, it'll tell you right there. If you want to be set to high, these are the parameters you need to have configured. If you want to be medium, you should be configuring these, and basic, and so on and so on. And this is really important when it comes to the software that's going to manage this. So, it can seem a little overwhelming. You might have, 300 traffic cabinets, which means 300 switches, maybe multiple agencies are interconnect, and you got to configure all these to all these different settings. You want to be set to the highest level, so you got to configure all these settings. So how do we make this easier for you so it's not this overwhelming, daunting task, right? And that's where MXconfig comes into play. So MXconfig, as Roger explained, it's a mass configuration tool, but built into that, we have something called Security Wizard. And it's a very easy 3-step process that we take you to. So you discover all the switches that you want to secure. You just select Security Wizard, and it will go out there and now walk you through a 3-step process where you now hit the drop-down menu. And in this example, we say, okay, I want to be set to the highest level, which in this case is level 2. And it'll now show you all those parameters that you need to have configured if you do want to be set to level 2. So now we hit next. And it'll now show you, okay, you want to be level 2. Well, what you've got showing in green is what you already have configured. What you have in red, we still need to configure. So let's just select those one by one, and we'll walk you through that very quickly. And bam, you just configured how many switches in about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, to the highest level of security that IEC 62443 can give you based on those built-in security profiles that are already there for you, really saving you a lot of time. And then that's great. You've got it set, you've got it set the way you want it, but we need to be able to check those settings. We might have done some changes along the way. Maybe you added an intersection. Maybe you had damage at an intersection. You had to replace everything in a new switch. And you need to go out there and once a day, once a week, once a month, just do a quick check and make sure that those settings are as you want them. So in MXView, the monitoring software, we have something called Security View. We just pull down to that, and it now goes out there and checks all the switches on the network, and it's checking them against those built-in profile configurations. And now it's coming back to you with color code and saying, okay, this is where my switches are set to. In this example, on the bottom right corner, the green one would be set to the highest in this example. The orange would be set to basic, and the blue is set to medium, and the gray means wide open. You haven't done any security settings. And then on the right, we also are here to remind you that here's what those colors mean. Once again, this shows you if you are set to basic with orange, that's what you've got configured. If it's blue or green, that's what you've got configured. So it's really a great way to go in there and do a quick check, a quick audit on all of your security settings. So Roger, let's start wrapping this up.
Sure. When we're talking about efficiently trying to do remote access management, it's kind of a recap over here. So we have to look into does our existing network outside, the network equipment, having that kind of like a capability to helping you doing all this traffic access performance. We have to consider looking at the like a network equipment outside right now. Are they reliable? Are they robust? Are they long lasting? Are they provide you more like a sufficient connectivity and the bandwidth support? Do they have the latest network software protocol helping you doing the real-time management? And of course, definitely the one we keep talking about, hey, you're not only doing like a connectivity, you have to look into the supplier or the like the equipment manufacturer. Would they provide you long-term support? So speaking about remote management, so as we mentioned a lot of stuff about the software to how to like utilize it. Let me just recap it once again about whether those software from the like a network equipment manufacturer provide to you. Are they available to helping you doing efficiently configuration, mass deployment, or future upgrade? Or do they have the software can helping you trying to increase your visibility, not only about the physical, logical, but go down into physical? Or do they support the software to helping you not only about the network connectivity, but looking into more security protection? This is all like about today, how we can look into Moxa to provide you all this turnkey, not only edge to core, but helping you talking about remote access management. So from here, I get back to you, Bonnie.
All right, great. Thank you, Roger. So what we'd like to do is just take a minute to go through a recap of the 3 webinars for our ITS webinar series. So we started with the first one around network security, and then our second one was around the 4 major network challenges. And then today we wrapped up with the 3rd webinar around remote asset management. So we want to, hopefully engage with you and have further discussion. So please feel free to reach out to us. And if you have any questions, we also do have a recording of the 3 webinars. So let us know if you need a recording as well. So great. We're going to go ahead and move into Q&A. So again, as a reminder, if you do want to submit a question, you can using the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. So, all right, let's take a look here, Roger and Michael, what questions have been submitted. All right, I see the first one here. In Lancaster, was the fiber network media installed by the direct burial in the road technique? So I don't know, Michael or Roger, if you want to take that one.
By the direct what?
Let's see, direct burial in the road technique is all it says.
To my knowledge, yes, it was. Yeah, okay. It was all conduit buried in the ground. Great,
thank you, Michael. All right, the next question came in here around UPS. So what UPS you guys use in the intersection cabinets? It sounded like they tried a couple other ones that failed. Can you recommend a reliable industrial UPS?
So Michael, let me take it. First of all, Moxa is a focus on network communication equipment. And however, we don't provide the backup system or backup power battery or something like this. But by experience, we can recommend or we can suggest there's one manufacturer in the market for a long time called APC. So they are very reliable and been helping the market more than 20 years in pretty reliable.
Excellent, good.
And let me add to that. I have a couple of customers that are, very big into using battery backup, and I would be happy to find out what they've tried and what has worked and what hasn't.
Great. I just got a question about the recordings for the webinar. So again, yes, if you're registered for this webinar, you're going to receive a recording of it, and then I'll reach out to this individual to give them the recording. So, all right, here we go. Let's take another question. Is Moxa the only one in the market offering a network management software tool?
Roger, you want me to take this one?
Please.
Okay, so no, we are not the only one that offers network management. There are others, but I guess some of the things you want to be aware of is how much function and how much feature the other brands can support. And I guess the other thing is, what about free upgrades and patches that have to come to it? Is that something that will be provided for free, and how much functionality is built into that? Like, for example, the security view that we give you, nobody else does that, and it wouldn't work with ours.
All right. Thank you, Michael. All right, next question here. What's the difference between SolarWinds SCADA and Moxa's MXView?
Let me take that, Michael. So SolarWinds is a very popular SCADA software in the market. As I mentioned earlier, it's kind of like a commercial grade to allow the user to looking into a logical link, to looking into the condition outside. But however, they can go down to deep. It's not true. They can offer you go down to deep, but somehow it's an option. You have to purchase the module from them and let them to develop for you. And plus, there's a lot to do, like a future upgrade. You have to pay the option. So compared to Moxa, our our software too is everything built in. You just only one-time purchase and benefit of any future upgrade. You don't have to pay any extra in the future.
Great. Thank you, Michael. Or thank you, Roger. We have just another minute, so let's just take one final question here. Does Moxa's MXView work with other brands' network equipment?
All right, Roger, I'll round out with this one. The answer is yes, it does. I mean, as long as it's IP-based, obviously, and as long as it supports SNMP, it will work. And if you really want it to work down to a deep, granular, detailed level, if that other equipment can provide us with their MIB information, that would help get even more detail out of it. So yes, we will absolutely work with other brands' equipment.
Great. All right. Thanks, Michael. So that wraps up our webinar for today. We really appreciate our audience joining us. If we didn't get to your question, we're going to be reaching out to you individually, but want to thank our presenters, both Michael and Roger, for joining us, and everyone as well. So have a great one, everybody. Thanks again.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.